I bought 5 classic cars from a sweet old widow. Now she's gone, and her lawyer grandson is at my door, threatening to sue me for stealing his inheritance. Plus one update. 2 years ago, I bought 5 classic Australian cars from the widow of a backyard collector. I'm close friends with a coworker, and we often helped his mother, who is in her 80s, with house maintenance. Her neighbor, who I'll call Elaine, was in her 90s back in 2016 when her husband passed away in a care home. One day, while I was doing maintenance at my coworker's mother's house, I drove there in my 1975 Falcon. Elaine saw it and came out to ask me if I'd like to look at some cars that had belonged to her husband. To keep it short, 3 of them were in good, drivable condition and worth a decent amount of money. The other 2 were ruined, but they were great for spare parts. At the time, I couldn't afford anywhere near what they were genuinely worth. In fact, 2 of them are considered in the top 5 most desirable Australian classics. I was honest with her and told her what they could sell for on the open market, but she was happy to take just $5,000 for all 5 cars, which was well under their value. She just wanted to make sure they went to someone who would appreciate them. I paid for them, collected them a week later, and I still have the 3 good ones. 2 are now on historic registration and the other is in storage. Elaine passed away in the middle of this year, and now her grandson is on the warpath over the cars. He somehow found my contact details and has phoned me several times, threatening to sue me for, in his words, stealing the cars from his grandmother. He even turned up at my front door once, demanding I return the cars. I haven't been served or received anything in writing from him legally, only his business card, which sounds dodgy. I verified that he is an actual lawyer, just as he claims. His employer's website lists him with a photo, specializing in commercial and insurance law, just like his business card says. I would have thought that if there was a real legal issue, it would be handled through the grandmother's estate. I'd expect to be contacted by mail from an executor, not get angry phone calls and doorstep visits from a smug guy acting like this is a personal issue between us. Since I'm not a lawyer and my assumptions could be wrong, I'm posting here. If I had to, I could now afford the market price for all the cars. I just want to know, is this grandson likely to have a case, and should I find a lawyer of my own? Update: I spoke with my coworker about the issue. He then talked to his mother, who gave me a crucial piece of information. Elaine didn't have any grandsons. My coworker's mother is still in contact with Elaine's son and daughter, as they still own and work on Elaine's old house next door. She put them in contact with me. They wanted to know who this person was who was threatening me over the cars. We spoke, and they identified the so-called grandson. It turns out he was an ex-partner of one of Elaine's granddaughters. They were together for a few years but never married. They also told me he's known to be in a lot of debt, which might explain why he's so desperately hunting for valuable items. Elaine's son and daughter told me that their dad had left instructions for Elaine to give the cars to someone who cherished them. They were happy that she did, and they were glad to hear from me that the cars are still being looked after. I haven't contacted the fake grandson's law firm yet. I have a lot of evidence of his misrepresentations to me, including home security and dash cam recordings. I'm going through my own lawyer to make sure I handle this correctly. My lawyer will act as a filter, deciding what evidence we should give to his firm to make them aware of his behavior. As a final note, the fake grandson came around twice more. I now have multiple records of him visiting my home, sending threatening texts, and calling me many times after I told him to only contact me in writing. My lawyer has filed complaints with his firm and the relevant regulatory bodies. I informed him about the complaints last Thursday and repeated that he should not contact me again. I haven't heard a peep from him since. And it gets even better. It turns out he had already been fired from the law firm before my lawyer and I even complained. Apparently, he already had other complaints against him for different reasons.